Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of the Seercast. This time it is an official Seercast, as opposed to what we did last night, which, if you haven't watched, go watch. It is Kitten, Geena, Lime, and I, and Fangride, talking for 2 hours about the new Legacy update. As such, we will not be discussing that much here today. But instead, we'll be talking about the February BTS, a little bit about the mole, and some of the other recent updates, and a lot of future update stuff that Mod Deg has been kind enough to bring to us. So today we have Runic.
Hello. I don't know what else to say.
Geena.
Turtle drop next kill. Gut feeling.
Please. ERNJ.
Hello.
Lime.
This is definitely Orange's fault.
It probably is. Robo.
Hello.
And Walter and Habblet in the chat. Apparently, Walter has mentioned to give credit to Orange and Habblet for all of the Mod Deg stuff, because without them, we will not have the screenshots to bring it.
So it was Orange's
fault.
Thread.
It is in fact Orange's fault, with a little bit of Hablet's fault.
Actually, it was more Hablet's fault than my fault.
Hey now.
It's always Orange's fault. #blame Orange.
It's not nice to blame other people.
Lime, please. Anyways, so we're going to go ahead and move straight into the thing, and we're going to first talk a little bit about the Ninja Team Q&A that happened. Just a couple things that are going to be coming up in the future. Fairy Ring interface is being worked on, thank God. Yeah.
It's, like, awful.
It's bad.
It's old. It's seen better days.
I remember Mod Deg was in the Friends chat recently, and someone asked why don't the guys just use the fairy rings. And one of the reasons Mod Deg said is because they didn't like the interface.
That's good. Okay,
That is too good.
Apparently they're doing something with Virago's team split colors. Okay. The long-awaited pet update is still in the works, but it's apparently such a large job that it's taking a while. Not really surprised there. They're looking into giving us bigger playlists, more than 12 tracks, please. And they're looking into improving Juju mining potions.
Thank goodness.
I think somewhere on the other side of his computer, Walter is dancing maniacally. He agrees. He is in fact dancing maniacally.
He is doing his most menacing dance as we speak.
Yes. But yeah, so the rant that Walter put forth a couple months ago about the changes to Juju potions with regards to divination seemed to have eventually sunk in. Yay.
It's nice that they'll be useful again.
Go on.
Oh, I was just saying it's nice that they'll be useful again.
Yeah. Why couldn't they have just kept them the same? Because if you use Juju Hunter and it auto-banks for you, then that saves your portents. Whatever. Anyways. Also, there was a few patch notes that came out, more ninja things. A couple changes to Falador's shield. It gives extra bonus XP and respect in the Artisan's Workshop. It also doesn't have the annoying, are you sure you want to use this prairie store? Yeah. I really don't like those confirmation things.
I remember I used to have that Falador shield when I was trying to do that, I was trying to do a nomad kill with as little supplies as I could before UOC. I was going to use the Falador shield, but just that confirmation just turned me off for that. So.
Yeah, it hurts unless you have a chance to get out of combat, and yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to time it in between combat to try to.
So I can't even spam one.
Store.
You can't spam what?
It's not the sort that you could hold a number key down like crazy.
Well, it might be now, but before they changed that even. It was a real problem. Now I don't know, but it's still annoying. But since the patch notes came out, it's a lot simpler.
Well, whatever. I don't have a Falador shield because
you don't have the prayer level. Because I think that's the 95 prayer one, right?
Yeah, I think that's never happened.
Yeah.
When
Honestly,
it does
I think
happen, we'll probably announce it here.
They added tier 5 versions of all the auras, which is nice. They're expensive, but nice. They give plus 15% bonus to their respective skill actions. They also added 2 more tiers of Jack of Trades, whatever.
Oh my god. New Jack of Trades. It's amazing. I love it.
20 skills for tier 3 is a lot though. Like, that's really
it's
a
doable.
lot.
It's doable. Once you get the routine, it's pretty doable.
Yeah. You know, Habblet says he has to wander around Gillinor for an hour to do the Supreme Jack of Trades.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like
Lol.
20 skills or something.
Yeah, it's 20. I don't even know where I would start. Like, maybe... And you can't even, like, do it in Dungeoneering because lol auras.
I think I could do that pretty soon. I don't think it'd be too difficult. I should try it sometime, just to try it.
Just have to, like, take all these things out of your bank.
Yeah.
It's easy, but it just requires a lot of random shit in your bank.
Do combat skills work for that?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
That used to be the easiest way of doing the original one is hit something on... Before EOC, you just punch something uncontrolled, or not punch, but like stab something uncontrolled, and that's immediately 4 skills. And then you superheat something, there's 2 more, and then chop something down, chop a tree, fletch it, burn a log, and then cook something, and boom, you're done.
So maybe Max and Varrock is really just using his auras.
Oh, okay.
I can
How many
see
skills does he
that.
actually run through, though?
Maybe.
He only has the normal version. He's not up for the Supreme yet.
He's a noob. Anyways,
There's no lunch. Fix him.
part 2 of Walter is now a very happy camper, is that players can now complete the task The Power of Lava with a Tukar Kal.
Yeah, I remember you suggesting that a lot.
And that was the task which is equip a fire cape in the Tsar City. Yeah. Yay. Also, there's a few new Power to the Players polls that are coming out. They're keeping worlds as they are, and the Marimbo Brassica world event did win. Sad face.
Okay.
There's
I'm
the
not
Power to
playing
the
that
Players.
unless there's XP.
Huh?
I'm not playing the Marimbo event unless there's XP.
I don't really care.
I'm just happy about getting Marimbo lore.
Yeah, I mean, the Marimbo part is nice. I could do without the Brassica part, though.
I feel obliged to help Marimba for multiple reasons.
Well, okay,
Abby.
Robo's alternate account is Abmekin, so yeah. The February polls are the Legacy Combat Mode, which we've talked ad nauseum about. Bonus XP Weekend can go die in a hole. Elf Skitty. Oh my god. Elf City skill focuses. Holiday items for loyalty points. Ultimate combat abilities, and that's a Fate of the Gods reward. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Choose Yelps' Fate. I'm sure a lot of people are happy about that one.
If Pillar's not an option, I'm disappointed in the poll.
There had better be a pillar option.
The Mod Rowley and Osborne both confirmed that the abilities are not Fate of the Gods rewards.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're-
really?
Yeah.
They're post
it was-
Fate of the Gods content.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh.
Yep.
Wait,
Interesting.
you
Yes.
actually have post-quest content planned?
I'd assume so.
But yeah, that
I mean,
means that
just looking at some dwarves over here, where's that stuff?
Go on, Robo.
he confirmed it like 10 minutes after the poll came out because everyone was thinking that Fate of the Gods would be out in like April or something now because of that. So he like confirmed it right away. That
So,
It's
are
not
we
the
still
case.
holding some more?
yep, still holding for March.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then you choose Yelps' Fate and a Divination Familiar, which I'm not really sure what that is, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
I don't know. I'll
Like a
just
familiar
fail
wisp.
it. Whatever it is, I will fail it.
Yep. There's also the Demon Drop Revolution that is
God.
happening this week.
I can't describe how much I hate that hashtag.
It is so bad. It is so incredibly bad. Ugh. But yeah, that's all Mod Deg's fault. Insert Mod Deg face here. 10 minutes. But yeah, so they're changing the drop tables for the demons. They're not, for demons, whereas at BTS. And it's basically just adding more valuable drops, finding less junk. Thank you for not being spammed with coins anymore at greater demons. And when you're on a Slayer assignment at Abyssal Demons, you can find an Abyssal Orb and an Abyssal Wand. So,
Yay.
That's to fill up another one of his gaps, which is all...
79. It's level 75 dual wielding.
Do gargoyles count as demons?
Yeah.
No, do they?
Not in this drop
did they?
table. Because they said explicitly they're reworking the drop tables of imps, lesser, greater, black, abyssal, and tormented demons.
Oh, hey, those tormented things.
Because you could also kind of make the argument that hellhounds, dust devils, gargoyles, and there's
Just
a couple other
remembering
ones
the
that
old
are
Slayer
demons as
games.
well.
The old Slayer games. So does that actually count as a demon?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, we'll go with that. But yeah, so that's interesting. I'm curious to see how the wand and orb are with regards to pricing, especially and rarity, because it's only found when you're on an assignment, so you can't just camp, which is nice. Yeah. Although you can use the mask thing and get a daily task, but even then, we'll see. So moving along, I do want to just read out quickly. Or not, that's not even read out, I don't feel like reading it out. But Mod Pips has a post trying to clarify his intentions for Legacy Mode and clear up misconceptions. He claims Legacy Mode will basically be what we had pre-EOC, but will run side by side and won't affect EOC. Okay, we've heard that before. It won't change EOC bosses like Hellfight King Virago or Rise of the Six and Before Spam. It won't change how XP is gained. Obviously, dual wielding stays in place. It won't have its own separate set of equipment and monster stats. So that does kill part of what we were worried about. But again, it's one of those. It's not just that stuff that affects EOC. It's the global changes being planned that affects EOC, like weighting constitution and health calculations. Yeah. Anyways, but unless anybody really has something they want to say about that, I'm gonna just move right along.
Yeah, moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And again, if you want to hear more of us talk about that, and you haven't seen the video that we released yesterday, go watch it. It is a very, very in-depth look at this. It is long, but it is a good video, and there's been a lot of positive feedback from it. So, go check it out. There's also there's a Reddit thread about it, and it may have found its way onto the RuneScape forums.
Yeah, it's on the RuneScape forums. It's on the Reddit. Well, I know that the RuneScape forums are spammed about this stuff now, but go check all of them out. But first, this is self promotion. But go check out our podcast.
Yep. Well, I mean, yeah, pretty much. Also, last month, speaking of Mod Deg, I'll find another Mod Deg face to put up right now, because there's plenty of them. Deg 2. The Mole was released, and I'm not going to say that hashtag because just no. I don't get
Mole
it.
2 Electric Boogaloo.
Please. I don't know what it is with those guys and making terrible hashtags, but like I got the ports to sail harder, but yes, I think it's all Mod Doctor's fault. Can we just agree that it's Mod Doctor's fault?
Yes, agreed.
What'd you say, Lime?
I thought you just said Oh wait, never mind. I'm irrelevant.
Please. But yeah, so the giant mole was released, or not the giant mole was released, but it was reworked. It's designed to be soloable, but soloable. No, isn't it supposed to be trioable?
Yeah.
For news.
Yeah, like level 110.
I thought it was supposed to be, I thought the normal mode was supposed to be trioed by 110 and soloable by 140, and hard mode is supposed to be significantly harder than that. Walter, please.
From what I've tested, hard mode is like twice as hard, but that's not saying much.
Yeah, Walter has it in the thread that it's supposed to be soloable by a player with 110. I don't think that's what I heard. I think it's supposed to be soloable by somebody with 140, and it's trioable by 110. Normal mode. He says read the release post. Okay, well, I don't know. That's what I read, that's what I heard, and I could be remembering it wrong, but that seems a little bit better. Because it seems dumb that hard mode would only add 30 combat levels when it's at 110 to begin with. Like, But yeah, as with the other hard mode bosses, it adds extra restrictions to phases, greatly boosts damage. Yeah. It always drops the same number of mole parts now. It also drops the dragon two-hander. And yeah. It basically got a rework. Does anything anybody really wants to mention about the mole? Because it's...
I haven't even tried it yet.
It's one of those things that's like, yeah, this is interesting, but okay.
Yeah. I think I was just more excited for the Falador Shield 4.
I was.
It's honestly, it's just something that's kind of irrelevant to all of us. We're all just, if we were level 110s, we'd be spamming about this.
Maybe.
Perhaps. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people, the hard mode is, it does have the one nice reward where you can, or what is it? It's the Ultra Growth Potion, which allows you to skip 2 stages of a tree's growth cycle, and it's only available from hard mode, and seems to be about a 1 in 15 to 1 in 20 drop rate. And you only get one dose at a time as well, but, yeah, it's one of those, like, okay, that's a nice little bonus reward. The Dragon Two-Hander, that's a nice bonus reward, but, you know, in the end, it doesn't... It's probably good for what it's designed to be, which is an introduction to bossing. And Walter broke the mole in 4 hours, without trying. But he didn't abuse it, so it's okay. Walter, please. Why you break things? But yeah. I don't really feel like talking about that stuff. Yeah, okay. Anybody wants to mention anything else about the mole?
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, holy moly. Okay, then we're going to move on into the BTS. I already mentioned a little bit about what's coming up in the BTS with the power to the players and the demon drop improvements, but also the first major piece of content is a new minigame called the Heist. Either you take...
Fortunately, it does not involve getting the Stone of Jazz.
Or Samurai.
That we know.
That we know.
It's a hidden map.
That would be so like Jagex to do, though, is to put a hidden map on there where you have to find the Stone of Jas or something.
And then right when you're about to get it...
And then you just find a rotten cabbage.
Oh man. There's gonna be a cabbage of jazz now. Oh, there.
Oh dear. But yeah, so it's a new minigame focused on deception and deduction. Players can either take the role of master thieves or stalwart investigators. Maps are randomly generated and styled after iconic Gielinor locations, some of which were Canifis was voted on.
I think Al-Kharid was one.
I think Al-Kharid was one, Lumbridge was one, Darkmire was definitely one.
Yeah.
Ashdale was one.
I thought that was a vote thing.
Well, it looked like in the video.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Did
I
they
think
end up
Ashdale
making
was a
one
vote,
anyway?
yeah. Yeah, Ashdale lost the vote. Was Artie one? Or Kandarin or whatever?
I don't.
I think one of the
Elflands.
Elflands.
I think Elflands was a vote.
Yeah, Elflands.
Yeah, it should have been. I picked Elflands over Canifis because there was already one in Mauritania.
I picked that one too.
Seeing how dull-witted the vampires are, Darkmire is probably going to be the easiest map. They just walk in there, Blisterwood, they don't care.
They
Maybe
do not even care.
Oh, right.
Just gonna shout human.
Human.
Human! Human!
Yeah.
Human.
But yeah, so,
I mean, they wouldn't try and suck their blood. I mean, who would want to drink such peasant blood?
why would they want to drink lime blood?
Yeah, they get
Lime's gonna have blood. That's the question.
I don't know about lime blood, but runic blood is pretty nice. So I've heard, anyhow.
So you've heard.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, as a robber, your goal will be to disguise yourself as one of the NPCs and remain undetected until you've stolen the town's loot. As a guard, you're looking to make the robbers give themselves away, so you can arrest them. The BTS video is it was kind of silly. A couple of the things that they did, where you were just baseless accusations. Hey, you! I accuse you.
Of being a murderer.
I'm guilty.
And he just was like, oh no.
It actually sounds like a pretty fun minigame, though, to be honest. I always like this kind of things, like, just the concept of it.
I like the concept.
Did you mention that on the Darkmare map you can turn into Venescula?
Yeah, I saw that.
They said that?
No, it was in the video.
Okay.
It was pretty obvious that it was Venescula.
Yeah.
Unless there's somebody else that looks exactly like Venescula.
Oh dear.
Someone's impersonating her. Well, actually they are, but...
Right.
But yeah, guards will have access
to run around and yell human.
Yeah, guards will have access to the latest in investigative tools, while robbers will be able to plan daring escapes and blend into crowds. Each map will have unique gameplay, ranging from rooftop escapes and before rooftop agility, camel disguises, werewolf infestations, and hidden tasks to make every game you play different. Geena?
Can I add that I'm worried about Acthanicos when we turn into camels?
Oh god, I forgot about the camels.
Yeah. Well,
Oh dear. Yeah, there's on the BTS video you can turn into a camel.
As terrible as he does.
And I wanted that one out. But, and performing well will give you points to buy additional abilities to use in the game. I'm not sure if that means in a minigame or the real game. Or you could instead get generous amounts of bonus XP in Hunter and Thieving. Yay.
Okay.
Yay, I hate
Walter is accusing me of being Kenneth. Walter asks if that's bonus XP or actual XP. And that is a good question. Good question, Walter.
I don't know, they've been doing a lot of bonus XP lately, but minigames usually just reward raw XP, except for skill and creation.
I think it's probably just going to be raw XP. But yeah. Also, out of nowhere in the BTS was a Grandmaster quest.
Yep.
Yes. Fucking finally.
Grandmaster quest. And the best part, one of the requirements is 67th engineering.
Yeah, Geena got hardcore 67.
Yeah, I know. I just looked at it.
We're just not going to explain what 67ing is.
No, we're not.
No, we're not, but it's the Geena requirement now. That's all you need to know.
And it makes it even funnier that it was 67 DG.
Yeah, 67 skill is normal. DG.
That is great.
Perfect.
So basically, Geena just got hardcore trolled.
I blame Slowsky right now.
Yes, that is probably accurate. But yeah, One of a Kind is the first quest created by Mod Raven. He did do the first set of sagas, but never done a quest. And this was completely out of nowhere. Like, yeah. Nobody had any idea this was coming.
It was as well, like, secret, like, it's kept a good as secret as Dungeoneering was. Like, no one knew what Dungeoneering was before the day it came out.
Yeah, they had mentioned, this is the quest that they had mentioned earlier that was based on isolation and the being alone and has those things that we all just, like, automatically assumed was Fate of the Gods.
Wait, it isn't?
No, that's what this is.
Wait, who said that?
I think they
Who
said
said
it
what?
was
This is,
Fate of
have
the
you
Gods.
have you watched the video?
Oh, no.
I need to get onto that video.
Mod Mark says explicitly, this is the quest where you explore the isolation and whatever.
Yeah, he
cool.
did.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's this quest, not Fate of the Gods, which is interesting in its own right. But yeah, none of us saw this coming. They kept this a very, very well concealed secret. And Mod Raven came earlier today on Twitter, sheepishly said, "So now that it's out of the bag, yeah." But this is
Yeah, this sounds like it's going to be a really good quest, more than usual, because like Mod Raven, like a couple months ago, was doing those question Q&As or whatever. Like he's just gathering results, see what people liked about While Gothic Sleeps, and no one really knew why.
This
he was
is
doing
what's
that.
got me excited.
Yeah.
That they're actually basing this on the feedback we all put in about what made that quest so great.
yeah.
So I'm thinking Ritual of the Mazarette might be a requirement, and it might use that stuff that we got, like Robert the Strong stuff.
It'll definitely
Yeah.
require. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if Ritual of the Majorat's a requirement, then A Tale of Two Cats is a requirement too. But that's guaranteed because the quest itself, I'm not sure whether it's actually here. Okay, it is. The quest is about research. Is that research carried out by Mr. Mordaunt suggests that Hannibus the Dragon Rider could still be alive, locked in stone and hidden beneath the earth. So it's about the last Dragon Rider, and clearly you're going to have. Well, I would assume that you'd have pretty much everything tied in from the Dragonkin, the Dragon Riders, which aren't in quest, but all of that content that
For
kind
that
of relates.
reason, we are all killing the King Black Dragon right now to get that journal.
Yeah.
Maybe this is that same quest. They said that they're going to have a quest that takes place underneath the wilderness, because if he's locked underneath the ground.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, maybe.
Hey.
Yeah, and Walter says Heart Mordaunt, and I think we're all happy he gets to be involved in a quest.
Yeah.
He's the best. That guy is the best thing ever.
I think a line especially is, because weren't you the one who suggested that Mordaunt should be in the library to talk about Dragonkin or something?
Yes.
Or was that someone else?
Okay, he deserves this so much now.
Yeah. That is a winning quest start location, or
Oh yeah.
start NPC, or whatever you want to call it.
Quest giver.
Yeah.
He deserved this. This is his time to shine.
Well, it's hard to say whether he's going to be the one that actually gives you the quest, but to have him, just have him in the quest is what I'm saying is, but yeah. Adventures that seek Hannibus out will uncover the library of Robert the Strong, the world's most feared dragon killer, in a globe-trotting quest of discovery. What did you say, Gina?
How many readable books?
All of them.
Hopefully all.
But
Hopefully at least
More.
two.
But the
Maybe
globe-trotting quest of discovery is something that Mod Mark definitely played up in the BTS video that was released today. He very clearly said this was going to be a long quest where you go all over the world. It's not like the kind of more compact quest that we've had a lot recently. No word on whether it's voiced. Probably not. But we'll see.
Yeah, probably not.
Has anybody asked Raven that?
Zoli did. No answer.
No answer? Because it was not mentioned. Unless I missed it, it was not mentioned.
I have a feeling it's not because
Is it
they
voiced?
would have mentioned. They would have mentioned if it was.
Yeah, it would be one of the selling points.
You'd think, but since so much stuff is I would feel like they would mention it if it was or wasn't. I do think because it is a quote-unquote globe-trotting quest of discovery.
It's probably not going to be.
It's probably not, because it would take too many NPCs.
Yeah, they said they only like to voice, they only like to voice quests where you can voice everyone in the area, so you don't run into people while you're doing a quest, and then half people are voiced and half aren't. So
Yeah.
It's probably not.
It's because that's strange for the immersion.
Like you see that one squire guy in Fowler Castle. He's the only guy that's voiced there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So finding out that Hannibus is the last of his kind, will no doubt be an intimidating prospect for this noble creature, but the path he takes will depend entirely on how you choose to guide him. So, choices will be...
Wait. This does kind of bring up one thing. That implies that Hannibus doesn't know he's the last of his kind.
Well,
Yet
if he's been...
The journals, he explicitly says, I'm the last.
Maybe he's completely forgotten.
Possibly.
Well, I mean, it says, the way that it's posed at the beginning of this... Walter, please. I'll say that in a second. It says that the research carried out by Mr. Mordaunt suggests that he could be alive, locked in stone and hidden beneath the earth. Assuming that implies that he's separated from everything. And while he does mention that he's the last, maybe he's saying that like he's afraid that he's the last, but doesn't know it for sure? I don't know.
I wonder if we're going to have to feed him the same way we feed King Arthur.
I don't know. Walter says I must become a penguin to seek out my goal. Please.
Please.
Because penguins.
Penguins.
But yeah. So, it's the requirements, we already mentioned 67 DG, lol DG.
Lol DG.
You also need 79 magic, which is one off of what you would already have needed for the quest cape. The Void Stairs back requires 80, and 74 summoning, I believe, is the highest.
I hear that's a 9-level jump.
Yeah, that sounds about right, because I think Clockwork Syringe needed 65 because of the bird thing. Yeah, so 65 summoning was the other highest. So if you've only got the bare minimum for the quest cape now, get to summoning. I can see Water Fiends being full for the next couple weeks.
They are right now. I'm already there. They're already full.
Yeah, Water Fiends, I think they're full also because I think they've implied this will be a double summoning weekend.
Oh yeah, they did mention that too.
A what?
The bonus XP weekend is apparently going to be twice double XP flat the entire weekend.
Oh, yeah,
and probably
time
for
to
all
not play
skills.
for another weekend.
Huh? And
Oh,
none
never
of us
mind
really,
me, you know.
none of us really care about that here.
Yeah.
Because either we're maxed, in Robo's case, or we just literally just don't care, which is the rest of us. This is quote-unquote a true Grandmaster quest, aimed at the most intrepid and experienced of adventurers. Walter says whatever that means.
I'm hoping this at least includes some museum requirements, like
I hope it
talking
requires
to him first about the Black Dragons.
It's not a true quest if it doesn't require a rope.
That's so true.
Exactly.
That is true.
It better
We need a
require a
rope.
rope.
We need to go to mobilizing armies and get our quest kits.
Yep. You know how many times that thing has saved me in my quest on that beacon? I can't even remember now.
What, a rope or the quest kit?
Well, I mean, the rope is pretty much the only thing I use in the quest kit, but sometimes I use a spade or something else too.
The candle.
Oh yeah, the candle, yeah, that saved me a couple times too. Well, actually a lot of times, but yeah, the rope in particular, I don't know, just 20 quests maybe already.
Also, it is a lore-rich trip around the world that will reveal much about the mostly unknown history of the dragons.
Ooh, one small favor, walking distance.
Honestly, it sounds like a large history quest, and I could not be more happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It sounds like
it will clear up a lot of Second Age, possibly even
It's like-
from the Jack's timeline, but that's possibly a stretch.
It sounds like it's the product of that. What made Wild Gothic Sleep so great, and how can we recreate it thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this looks awesome. Like, I cannot wait.
I think Mod Raven's gonna do a good job with the atmosphere of the quest too, because like he's always the kind of darker type.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Vengeance.
I'm just so excited. I couldn't even read the rest of the BTS after this. So.
Yeah, pretty much same
Well-
here. Like I just kept looking up and like, wait.
It was like quest and then all this other stuff.
Yeah, I went and watched the video first. So the first thing he said was quest. I was like, wait, you what?
I don't know. I was getting hints that there would be a quest, but this is just far more than I could have seen coming.
Yeah, we mentioned this in the vlog yesterday, but Mod Jack came into the CC yesterday and asked us, I can't remember what it was, but then we had no idea what he was talking about. And then he asked, didn't the BTS come out? And we were like, no. And then he quietly retreated back, and when somebody asked him if there was a quest, he sheepishly said, you'll find out tomorrow.
What was he talking about then?
I think he mentioned something about the Dragon Riders or the Dragonkin, and but because this is completely out of the blue, nobody had any idea. Nobody was like, oh my god, this means there's a Dragon Rider quest tomorrow, or in there. Yeah, he apparently came into the CC to talk about the quest.
Instead ran into a legacy rage, but...
Well, yeah, he good-naturedly stuck around and answered a few of our questions about that. It was interesting, but he definitely he almost spilled the beans.
He technically did spill the beans.
Well, we didn't know
None
it
of us
though,
were
which means he
smart.
didn't really, which makes it almost not count.
They hit it just that well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was masterfully hidden. And it makes it almost better, cause we love, as much as we love knowing about Fate of the Gods and knowing that it's coming and being able to assist in the, development, being able to, having this just come out of nowhere is just like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, I can't
And
remember
it's
the last
time
quest that we
faster.
didn't know was coming.
Yeah, hidden
We've always
updates.
had like hints before.
I wonder if they require my Ring of Kairos too. Cramulet maybe?
Yeah, the Walter says even he didn't see it coming, and he searches literally every Jack-X source but RuneFest panels that aren't streamed.
The only way I had a hint that a quest is coming is because there's a concept art of the Celestial Dragon that was already on the wiki, because they always put the pictures up before the articles come out, and then in combined with a quote from Mod Osborne that said, when someone asked if the dragon is going to be released with the Elf City quest, he says no, it's going to be released with a different quest that we'll be really secretive about.
Yeah, this, and speaking of which, the rewards include Dragon Rider armor, a Dragon Rider amulet, and a new training area featured Celestial Dragons, which look absolutely incredible.
Yeah. They look
Oh my god, they look so good.
great.
They are the best.
Here are
looking
just floating
dragons
dragons,
I've ever
but
seen.
okay, sure, whatever.
They're pretty clear though that Dragon Rider armor is not cosmetic. It's actual gear, which means it's implied to be higher than level 60.
I mean, like, I'd expect it to be more than level 60, because getting level 60 gear from a Grandmaster quest would suck.
Well, didn't we just get Dragon Claws from Log of the
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
hold on a second, but we did get dragon claws as a reward from wild
those things had
content.
that crazy
a lot more impressive back then.
Oh, it could be overrides.
Those are nice.
I don't think it's overrides, honestly.
But it
It's
would
hard
be
to say.
That
The
means
amulet, I guarantee, isn't. But
yeah.
maybe it's Dragon Rider. Maybe it's like it has a bonus against dragons that makes it on par with very high level armor. There's more than one Ami override. There's like 3.
The problem is that Dragon Rider boots and gloves are level 60.
Well, they could always rebalance that.
Fair enough. I mean, it's so rare anyways.
Yeah, I don't
The
think they
Dragon
put-
Rider stuff is what, from Fist of Gothics?
KVD.
KVD, which we are again killing right now, Journal Drop.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they'd put more level 60 hybrid gear because there's already the level 60 obsidian stuff, which should be.
But then there's also the level 75 warband stuff, which is hybrid. Or not warbands, war priest.
It could be, as you said, bonuses against dragons and then just regular outside of dragon combat.
I think from what it seems like, and this is speculation, but it seems like what would make sense from what they've said is that the Dragon Rider armor would be probably level 60 gear with significant bonuses against dragons. Whether it be damage bonuses or some other kind of bonus, like a whatever, it's probably has some kind of significant bonus against dragons, which is nice. But we'll see. That's something we absolutely will have to find out. Habblet says if the celestial dragons are in a dungeon, we should go and beat the crap out of Raven because they're celestial.
I wonder if we're going to go to the bottom of that one Brimhaven dungeon. Cause remember they said a long time ago that there's going to be a quest where you go down there underneath the staircase.
Maybe.
It's like maybe they have it all planned out.
Yeah, we mentioned this yesterday, or maybe not. Maybe it wasn't on the video, but it'd be very cool if the celestial dragons were only accessible via fairy ring or something, like they're actually in some kind of celestial place, like floor 2 of the Runespan or something.
Put them on with the cosmic entities plane.
Or something like that. Walter says, and I'm surprised I didn't think about this, Raven, give us a Dragonbane ammunition buff with it, please.
I know, right?
Because those are useless now. But, yeah, that might be something we should tweet directly at. Yeah, they're level 55, I think. We should tweet that directly at Raven. Walter, do it.
Walter, go. I choose
He says,
you.
Okay. But yeah, so One of a Kind looks awesome. I really, really, really am looking forward to this. Is there anything anybody else wants to mention about this before we move on to Mod Jack spam?
All I want to say is that when it was announced, I screamed like a little girl.
I actually teared up a bit, to be honest.
I'm happy that it doesn't sound like it's automatically gone spam.
Yeah, I'd like that too.
Yeah. Like, God content is good, but you shouldn't overwork it.
Yeah,
I also have a feeling this is the start of Elder God content. If it ties in with the Dragonkin at all, then maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I prefer the Elder Gods over the Gods. Change the storyline.
Alright, so...
Yep,
Mod
alright.
Jack, the return.
Yeah, Mod Jack returns. It's been what, 2 months since we've had a section featured solely about Mod Jack?
Yeah, he had a kid, and then we just ignored him for a month.
No, he had a kid, and then he wasn't in the CC because he was still at home with the kid, and but now he's come back with a vengeance, and has been absolutely spamming the CC with all sorts of goodies. This is a super long section, but it's all pretty much boils down to 1 to 2 or 3 things. I'll get the little small things out of the way. There's a couple hints towards the mining smithing rework, about the commonality of rune, which will get significantly more common, as it should.
Yeah. I mean, if rune crafting is still like a new invention, it's only been newly rediscovered, right?
What?
No,
Rune, the rock.
The metal. The metal.
Remember?
Oh, the metal, not the rune.
No, rune, like runite.
Okay. Ignore me.
Yeah, because remember it got retconned, so rune crafting was discovered back at the beginning of the first age and never lost. Or not the first age, 5th age.
Well, no, technically, if you keep the novels in canon, it was discovered after the War of 164. Novel spoiler here, when Greyzag robbed the Untainted at the end.
Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, that's a... Well,
I said spoiler alert.
No, I know.
It used to be like recently discovered, but then they changed rune memories and made it so it was never lost.
Yeah, honestly, rune memories kind of fits better with the novels.
It fits better with, like, everything, to be honest. Rune memories, or rune mysteries, which is the original one, just didn't really make sense to begin with. But just knowing what we do now, it doesn't seem like it's a new thing.
Well,
but yeah, so he mentioned something about the mining smithing rework, and then a lot of stuff about a project that he's working on called the Majorat Memories, which are...
It's Memories of the Majorat, so
yes.
MOTM6.
But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff about the Memories of the Majorat, and I can't cover all of it here. If you guys have memories that are interesting, or that seem interesting, or things that you want to mention in here, now would be the time to do so, because I don't know where to start.
Okay, you get to see...
Okay, first one little thing here.
Okay, I'll start. He did mention that he broke into the Majorat
hold on. Wait.
Let Geena go first.
Okay, Habblet here in the chat says, the Majorat memories are meant to show how the Zerosian Empire was back in the age. Walter says Raven. Habblet. And they aren't actual memories of the Majorat themselves. There, it's been said.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Sorry, the chat, I have it on D&D and my chat, it keeps scrolling, so. Anyways, Runic, go.
I want to just mention that Modjack did end up making memories for the Majorat that we know really nothing about, like Mizarch, I think, Halkira, and the other guy who was ugly.
Ralvash?
Ralvash, he was killed because his eyes
killed for having an ugly,
for being ugly,
yes.
Basically.
Killed because he was ugly and could never get laid.
For lack of a better way of saying that, yes. There you go.
That's evolution, guys.
Yes. I do want to, before speaking of being ugly, Modjack said there's a possibility Nakra may have visited the Makeover Mage after arriving on Gillinor.
What?
But yeah.
Oh no.
There's a lot of gender questioning stuff that he's mentioned that has been very strange.
Also, I just wanted to say that Mod Osborne recently tweeted that there has been questioning about how Majorat reproduce. So,
why would Osborne be in charge of that?
The age-old question is finally being answered. Do Majorat lay eggs?
Oh dear.
Let's avoid this topic because I just think death.
Yeah, I'm going to vote that. It's just worth mentioning because there's some strange things that have been apparently under debate at Jagex, including whether Majorat even have a gender.
Apparently they hit their gems together or something. It's weird.
and slapping Lime now.
Tune in to the secret Seercast episode where we discuss these in great detail.
No, Orange, no.
Orange, this is your fault.
Yes, that was my fault right there.
Well, anyway,
yes,
I think I remember some of the more specific things he was talking about, like for each Majra.
Yeah, go for it.
Alright,
If it's not about gender crap.
No, it's not. Sleescase in particular is going to be about the demon pack. Like, he doesn't remember it himself, but he remembers someone telling him about how Zeros got the demons to work with him, like the whole demon pack, like the contracts and all. So that's going to be Sleescase's memory, and I think, what was it? Hizil's? He was talking, he was asking in the clan chat one day if there's anything we know about Al-Kharid in the Second Age. Well, we don't, because Al-Kharid didn't exist in the Second Age. But, it looks like Hizil's is going to be somewhere related in the desert, or maybe John, because he was confused about who would be better there or not.
Well, he then said that Jalan would be like the conditions of the Zerosian Empire during the Second Age, like the conditions of humans.
I think he also mentioned that Jalan would be talking about Sliske during the Empire.
Spam?
I'm getting excited.
Gina's quietly spamming behind her keyboard. Well, maybe not so quietly.
So we also know that, well, we don't know how we're going to get these gems yet. It could be just various things. It could be drops from monsters. It could be anything. But he does seem to think that when we do get these gems, we're going to have to bring them somewhere to the world to reactivate the memories in them. And there's going to be a different area for each Majra. It might be significant to them to, like, maybe Lamistar, you bring it to his tunnel, or Zamorak, you bring it, I don't even know where you bring Zamaraks, but, so there's gonna be like...
To floor 61, that's where you bring it.
Yes, definitely. You have to have 119 engineering, you have to go to floor 60.
He also mentioned that these will have their correct quest requirements, and if the Majorat is living, you'll probably just take it to them.
Hey Zamorak, can I borrow you for a minute?
Yo, Zem, dude.
Because we can't get to Morgul.
What about Kazma?
Well, you could definitely go and bother Karshai and Azzy and Wazital.
Oh, easily, yeah.
I do bother them on a regular basis.
It's worth mentioning. Where is this? The Majorat Memory Project is over 3,000 words. And Mod Jack said he was going to get in trouble with translation.
Yeah.
3,000 words. Holy crap. That means that he writes almost as much as we talk.
Almost.
Which is still not as much as Stu live streams.
Yeah, but because of that point, I'm actually kind of disappointed that maybe it is going to be like a long time before it comes out, because translation is the reason why the post-quest content for Birthright of the Dwarves hasn't come out yet. However,
well, it says that it'll come out for Fate of the Gods.
Yeah, well, that is true then. I wonder how that's going to work then.
So I guess the translation likes Mod Jack better.
Yeah, I guess it's going to be like really high priority for them then. Because the other reason why it's not, the post-quest content is not yet, is because it's not really high priority for translation to translate the post-quest dialogue. So they're just like having it at the bottom of their list.
Speaking of Birthright, it's also worth mentioning that we were wondering what Mod John A has been doing. He has been working with Raven on One of a Kind. So I didn't mention that earlier, but yes, that was Raven acknowledged that it was Mod John A and Mod
Sarah.
Sarah, that's right. That was helping him with the project. So, yay. Anyways, back to more Mod Jack stuff. He mentioned a little bit more about the Second Age, like the way that the Empire's sat, I guess is a way to put it. Al-Kharid was controlled. The region that is now Al-Kharid was controlled by Zeros. The vast majority of Mauritania was controlled by Saradomin, which we should probably already know because of the large human settlement over there and the Icenic stuff that's there. But we now know that's confirmed now. He's not sure whether he's going to give Zamorak a memory or not. So it's one of those like, is he Majorat enough? But there will be a Majorat, or there will be a memory of the betrayal.
This is pretty much all the subjects which I've been spamming about since the very beginning. So
I'm not expecting them to have any cutscenes for this, but like imagine if like the betrayal one did have a cutscene. Like,
I'd love to have that. Only that one have a cutscene.
Yeah.
And that would be the last.
They did that.
I would love to see that, like, the Majorat memories be a series where you kind of get them sort of in order, and then the last one is the betrayal, and you have a cutscene for it. That would be amazing.
Wow. It says that Zemarigal's memory is what happened after Zero's fell. So that's like Fallout, the conclusion.
It might be a series. It might not be a random drop, but a series of drops. And by drops I mean however you get them.
Yeah, like you only get like in a particular order or something.
Yeah, kind of like with the Guthix butterfly memories in whatever that event was.
I wonder if this is going to be a hidden update because like I don't know.
Just
I don't think so. This seems like too big to be a hidden.
Hey, I found a memory guy.
Yeah, maybe you need like the ring of visibility and.
Okay, I better start wearing that full time now.
Oh dear.
I have a feeling
it could be
it'll
time
be like,
detonation.
well, I have a feeling it'll be like what was it? Cuss Chase Troubles mini quest.
Karshai's Troubles.
How they just
called Koshai, but
how they just kind of said, in other news, go talk to Karshai.
Yeah, it was a sub thing at the bottom of one of the BTSs. I wouldn't be surprised if that's how they released this. Like, oh hey, Azzy has something that he might want to talk to you about.
There's this weird thing over here. Wonder what it is.
Yeah.
He
isn't sure how people get the memories. So, one idea is that is to have them be like statue fragments. They might drop as well. It's hard to say. It's too early to say. But then, using them in a specific location will trigger the memory.
The best idea I heard was just to chuck them into the spin ticket code.
I don't like that. I mean, because I will go for days and days and days and days without getting a spin ticket.
I never find any cabbages, so I don't like the sound of that.
Jack hinted at that jokingly, so that I doubt that's going to be the case.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I think it's a good idea, honestly. I think it's a good idea.
I think anything super luck based is. I don't like it so much. Even if you have to go and kill a boss to get a ticket, or not a ticket, a memory. Like, at least if it's semi guaranteed, then I like that significantly more.
I like the idea of having to specifically do something with the intent of getting it.
It's probably kind of obvious though, but I think the stones are probably just going to be like the gems that they have on their forehead, because they did say that they changed them a lot some time ago.
Another thing to add is that this won't talk about their gems, like what the gems mean. I think that's supposed to be for something else.
Maybe for Fate of the Gods. Didn't they mention they were going to talk about that in Fate of the Gods? More Majorat-y, like super. I don't know. It's also worth mentioning that where is it? At least one memory is going to be about the time that the Majorat followed Eclairin. All hail King Itchy.
All hail King Itchy.
All hail King Itchy.
But yeah, so that's something that's going to be interesting. Several memories mention Eclairin, so.
All hail King Itchy.
Yep, all hail King Itchy.
It's cool, dude.
Yep.
To make this short, essentially the memories are Mod Jack's Demon and Zeros documents.
probably.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what they are.
And
it's a precursor to Fate of the Gods.
this is something. Well, I think that pretty much covers everything we wanted to mention specifically about Mod Jack. There's a lot to spam about. There's a lot of cool stuff coming, but we don't have time for every little bit and piece of it. Is there anything else anybody really wants to mention that we haven't talked about yet?
Yes, Purple Rose.
I was getting there.
Oh.
That was the next thing I was going to say.
Then go.
Actually, yeah. So there's, in one of the recent BTS videos, the Saren concept art was reshown, and the project name was not hidden this time. It was hidden the first time, and this time it says Purple Rose, which was Mod Rowley's code name for Fate of the Gods. Thus, Saren's quest. Saren will have a role in this quest, but she will not be making a return in that quest.
It's probably going to be like a past cutscene or something.
There's one other thing. There's something in this Mod Jack section about Saren. Where are you? I can't find it. God damn it. Oh, here it is. One of the Majorot memories reveals something about Saren, but is written cryptically, so it won't be obvious that it is about her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what LRYMR means. Oh, hey, look, Thorlaw has appeared.
Yep.
Oh, that was some Mod Rowley tweet. Anyways, it also about Saren, or along the same lines, Jack says there is a current piece of lore which provides incorrect information, and it is stuff that the clan, and he said he was slightly vague and may have meant the lore community in general, is using to base their cases. He cannot spoil what it is yet, and it is a massive spoiler.
I think it's going to be the Zemerigle's notes. That's just my guess.
My in before was Mavario's notes.
No,
Are we really looking to some old notes like that, or something that people picked up recently and declared it to be true?
He went on to mention that it was. He went on to mention that I think it was something that Osborne had let slip.
Oh, maybe. He has a tendency of doing that.
Yeah, he mentioned that it was something Osborne had let slip.
Osborne has let slip completely contradicting statements.
He has.
Pretty much.
So you're saying that what Mod Osborne said let slip is incorrect, or Mod Osborne let slip what was incorrect?
Mod Osborne let slip something that is incorrect.
Oh, okay.
And people are using it for all kinds of...
I think I know what it might be then.
I think...
Yeah.
Orange probably knows too.
I honestly think it's the Zaros origin, but that's just kind of a basic guess.
Well, my guess is that I think it's going to be that Stone of Jaws being, V being the second person to touch the Stone of Jaws.
That's exactly what I'm thinking too.
I think it could be that as well.
I actually think it could be something related to Slisky.
Because that is something that...
I mean...
Geena perks up.
Like... I don't know why, but I feel like it will be related to Slisky in some way.
I'll just stop.
And along the same lines, Mod Rowley did kind of let something slip here. He said that the Fate of the Gods, isn't replayable, but... And then he says, you almost drew me into giving a teaser there.
I think it might be something like Death of Chivalry, something like that. Like
there's something that will be replayable.
Fate of the Gods isn't replayable, but every other quest is.
Yep.
Yeah. And before we go, or before we start wrapping this up, the Chaos Elemental's Top Trumps card has a very interesting message that is rather straightforward. There will come a time when the Empty One returns, aiming to take the stone and confirming himself as an Elder God.
This has been said.
This is the other thing that I think it could have been. that we're basing theories off of and is wrong.
It could be. Yeah.
Could be.
Oh,
Or maybe we're interpreting it wrong.
Yeah, and considering it was Osborne who put that on there, so...
Yeah, it's another good thing.
Habblet says, replay rat catchers. I'm so eager.
I honestly want to replay Rat Catchers.
Just to see how bad it is?
Yes.
Oh dear. Walter says this is the elemental thing is actually in Gnomish, and hence the new gnome quest. K. Walter.
Okay.
I would like that. I would really like
The
that.
new gnome quest that we, as far as we know, is not in development. Of course,
So,
now I
yeah,
have to say, as far as we know, because they totally had the wool over our eyes for this one, or for one of a kind.
So, sudden gnome quest next.
Yeah, and gnome quest, Grandmaster quest out of nowhere.
Surprise.
We actually get to go into Arpasandra.
Yeah. It's been how long since the last one of those? It's been like elf long.
2011
Not quite elf,
was
but
Prisoner.
the last one was not particularly impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't like Prizog.
Path of Gorfuse is great, though. I love that quest a lot.
Yeah. Hazelmere, QQ.
Yeah,
But-
Path was like one of my top 5 favorite quests.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
But-
Path was really amazing. I liked Prisoner too, to be honest.
Prisoner was a little bit
Okay,
strange.
let's not talk
but-
about Prisoner right now before I start raging.
Yeah, it was a little bit strange, but I am going to. I think that pretty much covers what we wanted to cover at this time. Is there anything major that I'm missing?
I'm sure
That is
there's
not something I'm missing.
I'm 100% sure there's something you're missing, but I can't remember what it is.
Well, then we're not missing anything important. Except if we are. If we are missing something important, if anybody was there for any of the Mod Jack spam.
Gothic started a little bit ago.
Okay.
What?
Gothic started. Forgot to say that.
Spoiler alert.
It's not quite
Also,
a year
spoiler
yet.
alert, Bandos is dead.
Oh,
Womp womp womp.
Anyways.
That sounds
but-
great.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that pretty much covers what we wanted to mention here today. If we did miss anything, let us know on Twitter at Seercast, or I guess in the comments here. Our next podcast will likely be. Do we know?
It'll likely
with
be
One of a Kind?
after One of a Kind.
Probably either after One of a Kind, or if there's something else that requires immediate action, like happened last night. So just stay tuned. For sure we will do something after One of a Kind, whenever that is, and hopefully we'll have a lot to talk about for that. So definitely stay tuned for that. We hope you enjoyed this. If we appreciate any support that you give us, get our name out there if you can, and we hope to see you again next time. So, see y'all later.
Bye.
Damn.
Bye.
Spam.